Guys, I want to start this review off by saying, because of what this episode did for me, I want to say, long may you live, Akira Toriyama Sensei. Akira Sensei, thank you. And the reason I said that is, guys, is this episode was one of my favorites to date. I mean, just the way it was presented. It felt like a truly old school style, the old school style emotion that Dragon Ball could have at times, and on top of that, the absolute anguish and damn right out misery that Z could have at times. So the episode starts off with everybody basically, Bills, Whis, Goku, Vegeta, Bulma, Trunks, Mai, and the Pilaf gang. They're all sitting down for dinner to try and get their strength back. And then Bills' main beef in this episode is Trunks wants to go back to the future to make sure that since the Masu has been dealt with, he wants to see if the future has changed, which Bills becomes a little pissed off about because I'll quote him here, he's like, oh, you can't trust the judgment of a god. And then Trunks and Goku are like, well, we're going back because we want to make sure. And then here's where the really touching part of the episode comes in. And this is something that I'll confess, I'm super duper glad that this episode took the time to do this, because this is the one thing that I always felt I wish Dragon Ball Z had the chance to do, and that is Trunks, future Trunks, I'll have to say for right now, explain the younger version of himself, basically the events that led up to his to both of their timelines being so drastically different. And at first Trunks really doesn't understand, but right before they leave to get back to the future, Trunks basically screams out as the time machine fades away, do your best, me. And just the way that they portray the retelling of the tragic events of Trunks' timeline, it's pure brilliance. Like, Trunks retells everybody every single tragic event that led up to the future happening the way it did. I mean, it doesn't retell them visually, but it has Trunks bring up all the key points from the Android and Cell saga and the History of Trunks special. For example, he brings up the fact that even though Android 18 in the present timeline is the girl that married Krillin and had a baby, in his timeline, she and 17 were a couple of cold-blooded murderers. And the fact that when Trunks was a kid, he never got to see a peaceful city and the moon shining down on the town with all intact. So I think the real hidden message that this episode had with showcasing that part is, I guess, to just appreciate what you have, because I really do think that this really shows that Akira, despite being 62, 63 years old, still has his moments where he can be the creative mastermind that gave us Dragon Ball 30 years ago. And after all this takes place, Trunks, Vegeta, Goku, and Bulma, because she wanted to go and observe the future, head back to the future and find that despite Zamasu being gone in the present day, nothing in the future has changed. So the soldiers of the resistance basically lead everybody to Mai, and Goku has to give Trunks a senzu beam to get to Mai, so she can basically heal from her injuries. And then Trunks and Mai sort of had this touching reunion where Trunks says, "Oh, I'm so glad you're alive." And then at the end of the episode, Black and Zamasu come out, and that Black finally reveals his true identity. I know I actually said that Black is Zamasu and that he changed bodies with Goku, but here's how he really did it. It's not Zamasu's brain they switched. He switched out Goku's dead heart with his own. So that is how, I guess, Zamasu was able to mold into an evil version of Goku, and how he was able to pick up on some versions of Goku's moves, because all the body needed was a functioning heart to be able to be revived. So yeah, great episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. So again, just to clarify, Goku Black is actually Zamasu, but it's merely Zamasu's heart in Goku's dead body. So again, I really applaud Akira for putting together such a well done episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Keep on rocking, yeah.